Shohei Ohtani is rewriting baseball. 2 seasons, 2 World Series, and milestones no one thought possible in his time with the Dodgers. He's not just hitting home runs or striking out batters, he's breaking the rules of the game itself. And in 2026, he's only getting started.
You are Locked On Dodgers, your daily Los Angeles Dodgers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? I'm Harry Ruiz. That's Travis Rogers, and it's time for Locked On Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. On today's show, a wild crossover moment that somehow ties Dave Roberts, NBA All-Star Tyrese Haliburton, the Dodgers, and the Brewers into one petty masterpiece. The jaw-dropping cost of becoming baseball's modern dynasty. But first, we're talking about what we think could be the next milestone Shohei Ohtani could be chasing for 2026. Travis, is there anything this man can't do?
No, I mean, but maybe he'll play for the Lakers or quarterback the Rams or something like that, because there's nothing off the table with this dude. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL bets all season long.
Travis holds it down every weekday from 3 to 6 on the Travis and DeMarco Show on 710 ESPN LA. And if you're not in LA or you're away from the dial, you can always stream it on the ESPN LA app. As for me, when I'm not on the mic calling USC football or Las Vegas Raiders games in Spanish, this is the spot. Locked in with you, talking Dodgers, breaking it all down every single weekday. If you're new here, welcome in. You're officially family now. And to our everydayers, you already know the deal. You're the heartbeat of Locked On Dodgers. Are you watching on YouTube? Make sure to hit like, drop a comment, and make sure that you're subscribed as well. Listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast, a quick 5-star rating helps more Dodger fans find this show. All right, let's kick things off. Shohei Ohtani versus reality. 2 years, 2 World Series rings. That's how Shohei Ohtani's Dodger career started. And somehow that still undersells it because, yes, the trophies matter. That's the most important part. But the ride to get there, what Ohtani has done between those champagne showers is something we've literally never seen before. Let's start off. 2024. Ohtani didn't just join the 40-40 club. He obliterated concept of limits, becoming the first player ever to hit at least 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in a single season. That was an evolution. That was mutation. Then came 2025. What's the encore season? No 50 steals this time. Sorry, everybody. Instead, he casually came back to the mound mid-June return, 47 innings, 62 strikeouts. And he obliterated the Dodgers home run record again, 55 home runs. So, Travis, we always say a 50-50 club. Technically, it's a 55-55 club for Shohei Ohtani. Is there anything he can't do? So now the question is, what the hell is he going to do next? I know you brought up the Rams. I know you brought up the Lakers. But in the diamond, what can he do next?
I think there are 2 things left for him to do on a baseball field that he has not done yet. And that doesn't mean he won't, continue to amaze us and win MVPs and put his team in a position to win World Series years after year after year. But I think as far as individual accomplishments go, I think there are really 2 things left. One, I think, is possible. The other one, I think, is if it were anybody other than Shohei Ohtani, it would be impossible. And it might be the one thing that even for him might be slightly out of reach. Let's start with the one that I think is a little bit more possible. I think hitting 60 home runs has to be something on the list because he's close, right? He's in the mid-50s 2 years in a row. And, he's a slugger. So he goes through patches of time where he's not locked in, where he does strike out a lot, where the home runs aren't coming. And then when they come in bunches. He is an unbelievably productive slugger. And even though he does strike out a lot, his batting average and all that kind of stuff is pretty good. But you're only talking about a handful of home runs more to get to 60, which is really extraordinary when you think about it, because no one had ever hit 50 in the history of the Los Angeles Dodgers. A couple of guys had gotten pretty close. Cody Bellinger had 49, but he goes by 50 in his first year comfortably. He goes by 50 and breaks his own record in year number 2. So I think the progression of home runs heading towards 60 is a real possibility. And we know that he likes kind of chasing numbers. We know that he likes those benchmarks that no one else has gotten to. So I think that's a possibility, and one that I don't know if I'd bet against him. It's a ton, but I don't know if I would say he can't do it. The other one, which I don't think he can, simply because I don't think even the extraordinary Shohei Ohtani, his body is unable to do it, is win a Cy Young award. That's the one, right? Because I just don't think he'll get enough innings. I don't think he'll get enough time on the mound to do it. And trying to do both of those things at the same time, I think even for him may be too much of an ask. And that we could even kind of throw it out there is mind-boggling, because those numbers you just read, he's averaging more than a strikeout an inning. Nobody really gets hits off of him. When he's off, it's because they nickel and dime him. There's a walk here and there, but he rarely gets knocked around. I just don't know if he'll get the 150, 200 innings necessary to kind of not qualify, so to speak, but kind of qualify in the eyes of the voters. So I think that's the one that might be a bridge too far. But with him, who knows, man?
Yeah, and that was going to be my first one. It's like, okay, we never thought that 50-50 was possible. Shohei did it. We never thought we'd see somebody get even close to hitting 50 home runs and striking out 50 batters the same season. Because let's remember, Shohei Ohtani, he actually pitched with the the Anaheim Angels, the Orange County Angels, for a considerable amount of games between 21 and 23, where he actually surpassed the 50 strikeout benchmark by a mile. He had over 150 strikeouts each of those seasons, but he never hit over 50 home runs in those campaigns. Now it's like, okay, you already saw him get in a limited capacity, because that's what I was like, he started pitching in mid-June and he was pitching an inning. He didn't start pitching 4+ innings until towards the end of the season. He ended up, I think, with 3 games with 5+ innings in the regular season. So if we're able to get him on the mound, and look, I don't want to say full games or 7 innings. If we're able to get him on the mound for 5+ innings, 5 innings, 5 and a third, 6 innings in a consistent manner with the way that he pitches, I don't feel like it's too crazy to say Shohei Ohtani won't win a Cy Young. Why? Because it's good for baseball. Because Shohei Ohtani has been fantastic for the sport. So if we're able to think about a player who wins Cy Young and MVP the same season, oh my God, that would be just bananas. And hopefully we're able to see it with Shohei Ohtani, both as a pitcher and a batter. I agree. They're also going to put a limit to him and not say it's like, okay, go berserk like you did with the Angels, where he pitched for, I mean, let me look at the stats right here from when he was pitching over there in LA. 130 innings in 21, 166 in 22, 132 in 23, with over 20 starts in each of those seasons. I don't know if the Dodgers will let him go that far, but if they get at least close, I feel that he'll be contending for that Cy Young award.
Yeah, I don't even know if 22 starts gets it done, right? I think it has to be probably a little bit more than that. And the other part of this, and look, this is when you're dealing with Ohtani, the rules are out the window, because he's just such a unique athlete, and we've never seen anything like this. We don't know how this is going to look, start to start, day to day, week to week, month to month. But he is getting older, and at some point there has to be a give back between the offensive player and the pitcher. And I don't know where that give back is. He's more valuable as an offensive player. He plays every day as an offensive player. He plays once a week as a pitcher. So I think if there's that give and take, that push and pull, that we're going to pull it away from the pitching and put it towards the offensive side. We've seen him, I don't, struggle is too strong of a word, but maybe not be the best version of himself on the days after he pitches. So I don't know how the Dodgers would want to deal with that. Now, here's the wild card in all this, Harry. If Shohei Ohtani decides that he wants to win the Cy Young, then Shohei Ohtani is going to try to win the Cy Young. There's no talking him out of it. He's one of those guys who says, I'm going to go do this. He's going to go do it. The Dodgers can't really stop him from it. They can suggest, they can try to, nudge him in one direction or another, but he's going to go do what he wants to do. And if he wants to make his 25 starts and try to at least get close to that 200 inning mark, he could probably do it. Now, whether he can perform at that level over that amount of time, we'll see. I'm not betting against it, but I think the Dodgers will do everything in their power. And again, like I said, they can't really stop him, but they can strongly try to recommend against him mashing the gas. Because look, the Dodgers are about winning World Series. The Dodgers are about continuing on this dynasty, and having Shohei Ohtani pitch a bunch of innings in May, June, and July doesn't really help them do that. They don't need him to do that. So I think they'll be cautious with that. But we're on the same page, man. As far as winning a Cy Young, that's the last frontier for this man.
Here you go. I got one that might be a little bit more realistic. Shohei Ohtani batting over 300 and having a sub-2 ERA season.
Oh, wow. That's great.
That?
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. He could do that. Now, that's something he could do. 300 would be hard because just the amount of strikeouts.
He's only done it twice in his career.
Yeah. But that's
I'm like, hey, it's like a challenge for Shohei. Okay, what the hell am I going to do next? I got 8 years left with the Dodgers on this contract, and I'm the most popular baseball player in the universe right now. I need people to just tune in and be like, okay, we've already seen him go 50-50 one way, 50-50 another. What else can we do? I was like, okay, maybe the home run number is like, okay, what is it going to do? Hit 100 home runs and then be like, okay, damn, that's nuts. I think batting 300 and having a sub-2 ERA, I ain't going to be even that tough. Having the best ERA in his career would be it'd be under 2.3 in 2022. Have a sub-2.3 ERA and hit over 300 in the same year. That would be pretty cool.
He could do that and throw in 40-plus home runs and 20-plus steals. And, now we're getting into comic book territory stuff all over again. And not that we haven't seen it before, because we have.
That's what's like we are in comic book territory with Shohei Ohtani every time that he's up at the plate, every time he does something. So every time we think we found the ceiling with Show, he punches through it and he creates another one. And that leads us perfectly into what it costs to keep a player like that and a team like this all together. Next on Locked On Dodgers, the Dodgers just received the most expensive bill in Major League Baseball history, and somehow it might be worth every single penny.
NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting, because you're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. Because with FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum, every swing, every highlight moment. Because live betting is at its best when the game starts to shift, right? That receiver gets hot. We saw Puka Nacua go off on Thursday Night Football. A defense tightens up, or momentum flips after a big turnover. In FanDuel, they let you jump right into that moment with live spreads and money lines adjusting instantly. Player props update as guys are heating up. You can bet next touchdown score, drive results, totals, and a whole lot more. And it's keeping you locked into every play, every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you.
Thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. You already live your team every day. Now, take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Dodgers with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Go to LockedOnDodgers.com. LockedOnDodgers.supercast.com, or check the link in the show notes to learn more. The cost of a crown. Dynasties aren't cheap, and the Dodgers just proved it in black and white. Major League Baseball's final luxury tax numbers are in, and the Dodgers didn't just lead the league, they lapped the field. Los Angeles is staring at a $169 million luxury tax bill for the 2025 season, the highest single-season tax payments ever. Not contracts, just penalty. To put that into perspective, Travis, that tax bill alone is larger than the entire payrolls of nearly half the league. And this wasn't some accident. This was the price of dominance for the boys in blue in a sport that doesn't have a salary cap at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It at the moment is right. It just as a quick aside, I ran into somebody the other day who is directly connected to the player side of Major League Baseball. And he told me that every player is 100% prepared for a work stoppage at the end of next year, that it's coming, that it is going to come. So hopefully they're wrong. Hopefully there's some sort of agreement that we can get there before then. But yeah, Harry, look, this is part of the reason why half the teams are like, this is absurd. Now, that luxury tax money, a lot of that money gets spread around the other teams. So I don't know how excited they're going to be to see that faucet of money coming their way turned off. But
look, they don't have Sportsnet LA paying the bills. They ain't got like all the FanDuel, the Sportsnet network part is like kind of potentially going down. So it's hey, it's like y'all might need this money in the future and y'all might not have it. So you're going to spend even less.
Yeah, for sure. But look, this is you and I are blessed, spoiled, however you want to look at it, to have an ownership group that not only look, there are a lot of groups that have a lot of money, right? But they don't all spend it well. That you look at the
or
Mets,
even spend it.
Now I'm just talking about the teams that spend. Like, look, you're never going to convince the Pirates to spend money or the Rockies to spend money. They're never going to do it because they don't want to and they don't care about winning. That's fine. But it's the teams that, like the Mets, who have Steve Cohen, who's the richest guy in baseball, and he's spending money, and he's making some interesting moves with Juan Soto, who had a great year but didn't really affect winning. That it's where does the money go and what are the results? The Dodgers not only spend money on Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Freeman and Betts and Snell and all these other guys that they go out there and get, but they all hit, right? They have all, paid off when they've made these big bets on these players. That doesn't typically happen. You cover the NFL, I cover the NFL. So often you'll go in, and basketball, this happens frequently, where you'll try to get that big free agent and he comes in and it's like, yeah, he's all right, but it doesn't really just jump that team up to the next level. Almost without exception, the guys, especially the high dollar guys that the Dodgers have signed, have directly led to more winning. And that's what everybody in every sport wants. It's just that the Dodgers have been better at it than everybody else. And guess what? It costs a lot, right? To go in there. Shohei's not coming for nothing. Yamamoto's not coming for nothing. These guys are incredibly expensive, but they've made incredibly tactical bets on the right people.
Yeah, we're talking about $169 million for the Dodgers. You brought up the Mets, $91.6 million, and they missed a 12-team postseason in 2025. But there are also a total of 9 teams. The Yankees, who couldn't make it out of that first round that they played in. You look over at squads like Philadelphia, like Toronto, that made the World Series. San Diego, they made the playoffs. Boston, Houston, Texas. You're talking like the Texans didn't make the postseason. If I recall correctly, the Red Sox didn't either, right?
No.
So it's not only like you said, spending the money, it's spending it wisely, having the right people in place. And that's something that baseball doesn't have a salary cap on. The people that you have in the front office, the people that you have is in the scouting department, the people that you invest money for to find the right players, not only via free agency or trades, but getting guys in the Dominican Republic, in Mexico, in Cuba, and other places, and or even in colleges and high schools, and finding the players that you can draft. It's all a machine. And the Dodgers, yeah, you see the big payroll, and they're taking advantage of a sport. Like I said, the NFL, they do have a salary cap, and you have to figure out ways to then be like, okay, let's spread the money through years. Let's figure out a way to keep this player happy with guaranteed money here instead of spreading it out throughout the season, an opt out here, an opt out there, or a trade clause. That you figure out ways to make your team better. And the Dodgers, they know it's like, okay, we make money, we invest it back on this team. We don't just keep it for ourselves and be happy with what we're making, which is what a lot of owners do all throughout baseball.
Yeah, a couple of things. You mentioned the Padres. I think the Padres are a great example. They went for it, right? They went out and they gave Machado all the money. They went out and they gave Tatis all the money, and Bogarts, and they Darvish. Like they
trade everyone to all their prospects.
Spending prospects, spending cash. And the Padres have been good, but they haven't been great. They're and what's interesting with them is they're entering a period in their history where that money is going to age really poorly. Like that Machado money is going to age badly. That Bogarts money is already aging poorly. And, Tatis, I still think has a lot of high side, but it hasn't hit yet. So you're spending all this money. At least the Dodger money is hitting along the way. And I also like what you said, Harry, too, about, you can buy smart, right? You can go out and find the smartest people in other places, but they got to want to come and they got to want to be here with you as well. And I think that's something else the Dodgers have done and will continue to do. Like, you can say you can only spend X hundreds of millions on your payroll. Okay, but I can still buy the scouts and the analytics guys, and I can go find the smartest people in this sport so I can continue to pick better players than the other guys. Their economic advantage may be neutralized to some point if there is some salary structure at some point, but their intellectual advantage won't be.
Yeah, and it's also smarts when it comes to players. Remember Tatis when he was like riding a motorcycle and got into an accident or something happened and he ended up being out of action for X amount of time, or when he ended up popping positive for some unallowed. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Ringworm. Yeah, and it's like you got to buy smarts in that aspect as well. And the Dodgers, they've I know Aiden Ross has become very controversial with what he did with Puka Nacua. Mookie Betts also did a stream with him, and in that stream he said, I'm not allowed to play basketball.
Yeah.
When you're signed to a contract like that, it's like, hey, you got to tell the guys, it's like, we're investing money in you. You'll play hoops once that contract is over and have fun playing basketball. Right now, you're getting paid to be a baseball player. And it's not only the smart guys behind the scenes, it's having the smart players on the field. And hey, guess what? A general manager, a baseball operations guy like Andrew Friedman, they're going to be like, we got to put this in the contract. We got to talk to our player. We trust them, but let's make it clear as well and put a clause in the contract that is like, hey, man, you got to be careful with this. And look, the Dodgers, they're all in and they're going to deal with the consequences later, potentially with the things. But later is now, because over the last 2 seasons, the Dodgers have paid more than $250 million in luxury tax. And since the penalty was created in 2003, no team has paid more total tax than Los Angeles, officially passing the Yankees this season. But it took us 22 years to pass the Yankees. So all those Yankee fans that are also crying for the Dodgers spending money, hey, y'all had spent historically too. And the problem is y'all ain't winning recently.
Well, there you go. And the Dodgers been in the World Series 6 times in that window and won it 3. So the money well spent. It's a lot of money, but it's money well spent.
Yeah, the Dodgers have won now twice. Plenty of teams, they're spending big and missing October. So the Dodgers are spending historic money, but also hoisting historic trophies. That's the difference right now, and that's why everybody is pissed off. But hey, like we've said in previous episodes, we were through the hard times, so we get to celebrate the good times right now with the Dodgers, who are setting standards everyone else is chasing. All right, coming up on Locked On Dodgers, one of the funniest, pettiest, most unexpected Dodgers storylines you'll hear all season, involving Dave Roberts, an NBA All-Star, and the Milwaukee Brewers catching yet another stray. The World Cup is coming back to North America for the first time since 1994, and with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. But let's be honest, getting tickets is usually the hardest part. That's why the Gametime app is clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. Alerts for teams and matches make it easy to grab tickets the moment they drop instead of missing out. Portugal versus Colombia in Miami? Yes, please. Belgium against Egypt in Seattle? That's definitely going to be a good one. How do you take the guesswork out of buying tickets to these World Cup and every match in its concert or event all around the world? Well, with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, tickets, go. Download Gametime today. Don't forget to follow Locked On Dodgers not only on YouTube, but on X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. You can find Travis on social media at Travis Rogers on X and Instagram. Meanwhile, I'm at Harry Ruiz on X, at Harry_Ruiz on Instagram, and at Harry Ruiz_ on TikTok. The Raiders finally scored some touchdowns, so if you want to listen to some Ashton Genty touchdowns in Spanish, head on over to my social media. All right, when petty goes Hollywood. Some sports grudges fade, Others get upgraded, and that's what happened with Tyrese Haliburton, who used to be a Milwaukee's Brewers fan, but the words here is used to. That ended the moment that Milwaukee decided to quietly uninvite him from throwing out a ceremonial first pitch shortly after Haliburton's Pacers eliminated the Bucks from the NBA playoffs. First off, what do you think about that, Travis? Would it have been a bad call still having him out there, even if his team defeated the team for that plays in the same city as you?
No, it was so they botched this from the beginning. Look, I get it. He knocked the hometown team out. He's a hometown guy. Right? He's a hometown guy. And I think people can make that distinction. And even if they wanted to boo him a little bit inside of Miller Park, that's probably okay too. Like, I'm trying to think that, let's say Paul Pierce.
It's like Giannis. He eliminated the Lakers, and then you have Giannis throw out the first pitch at Dodger Stadium.
But it's a little different because let's say it's Paul Pierce, who plays for the Celtics, but is from LA and knocked the Lakers out, and they brought they're going to boo him, but it's going to be a playful boo. It's going to be a dude, we don't like you because you're a Celtic, but we do respect that you're from LA, that you're one of us, and that's how it goes. That they did that they being the Brewers in this started this whole thing. Now the guy's like, oh yeah, well watch this, and now he's going to go out of his way to troll you. With all teams, the Dodgers, really? I love that Haliburton's doing it. I think it's really funny that he's kind of leaning into it. But this is the Brewers thing from the jump, and they messed it up.
Yeah, and he's done it now a couple of times, and he didn't start off with the Dodgers. He chose violence baseball style because he first rocked a Cubs jersey on the Pacers bench on the same day that Chicago knocked Milwaukee out of the postseason. So it was like, okay, that was chapter one. Then a Dodgers jersey worn just as LA squared off with the Brewers in the NLCS afterwards. And it's like, oh God, all right, petty 100%, absolutely. Elite level trolling, undeniably. And that was something that it just became a storyline. And look, I understand, maybe not petty, but you heard the guy, man. You got him all excited. If somebody invites you to throw out a first pitch and you're all hyped, you're all over the moon, and then it's like, you know what? No, we can't have you throw out the first pitch. If you did something controversial, something that has you in the news for all the wrong reasons, I get it. If all you did was do your job and win the sport that you're getting paid to do, I 100% understand Haliburton being in his feelings and being like, you know what? I'm going to go now on our revenge tour and I'm going to wear all the jerseys of the teams that are going up against you.
Oh, I think that everywhere he goes in the NBA, and that very brief moment where the NBA and baseball intersect, where, your team's playing late into the summer for basketball, like every time he goes into a city that has an MLB team, he should be rocking their jersey. Just everywhere but Milwaukee. He should go in there and have a Seattle jersey or, wherever he's going, San Francisco, put on a Giants jersey, just do the entire thing and lean into it because why not? And the Dodgers have basically turned heel in all of this. And I like they're just, come on in. We'll do it. We don't have any problem with it at all. And especially a great player like Haliburton, who everybody's going to have their eyes on him. Everybody's going to be paying attention to what he does. So if you want to throw a Dodger jersey on his shoulders, I love it.
And sorry, I said that when the Cubs eliminated the Brewers, it was the other way around. The Brewers were playing the Cubs in the DS, and then they ended up playing the Dodgers. And he was like, hey, I'm going to wear the jersey of whoever plays this team right now. So here's the cool part. Dave Roberts, he was recently on a podcast with Kenan Thompson and Kevin Hart, and they had Tyrese Haliburton as a guest. So he just popped in, and he invited Haliburton to now throw out a first pitch at a Dodgers game. Against who? Against the Brewers. That series is going to be August 13 through the 16th, a 4-game series at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers fans, show Hallie a lot of love. I want to hear a huge roar and be like, yeah, man, we got you over here with us. And obviously, we also got to look at the situation. Haliburton, he had an injury that's got him out of action in this 25-26 season. And by then, we're talking about NBA preseason. So hopefully there's an exception that his team, the Pacers, say, okay, we know that the season is still a month and change away. We're going to let you go out there and throw out that first pitch and then come back home. And that's another part. It's like you leave your players happy. And Haliburton right now, he's the star over there in Indiana when he's on the court. So I feel that the Pacers would be like, hey, he ain't doing it against the team that's from our city. He ain't doing it against somewhere where it's like we would get in trouble. Let him go out there and have fun and put the spotlight on him and take a selfie with Shohei Ohtani, and then we can blow it up on our social media, and we'll get all the Japanese fans that love Shohei loving us too.
Well, this is the best part about it. The fortunate part about it is Indiana doesn't have a team. So he doesn't have to worry about alienating the locals. He can just go and just troll Milwaukee. It's great. Like, in an alternate universe, let's just say that the Reds were in Indianapolis, and he couldn't really go throw a Dodger jersey on or a Cubs jersey on or anything else because the Reds are sitting right there. But Indianapolis, I think they have a AAA team, but they don't have a major league team, so it's fine. You can go and put on the jerseys of all these different teams. You can go kind of stick a needle in the eye of the Brewers along the way. And the Brewers, look, if I were the Brewers, if I were the owner of the Brewers, the general manager, the manager of these teams, I would be working my you-know-what off to try to make this right for him and bring him back into the fold, bring him back to his hometown because he's a Milwaukee kid, right? Bring him back in. Let's make nice. Let's put the Brewer jersey on. Let's make sure that we don't have to go through this again and own it and say, we messed up. Come on back, Tyrese. Come on back and be where you belong and stop putting that Dodger or Cubs or anybody else's jersey on because you belong to us. They should fix this.
Hey, from Brewers fan to Brewers nightmare to throwing out a first pitch for the team that ended their season. Hollywood couldn't write it cleaner, and yet the Dodgers, they're going to be the ones putting on that show. All right, that'll do it for today's pod. Thank you so much for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Did Locked On make your Spotify Wrapped? Prove it on social media to secure a free month of our brand new Everydayer Club. Just tag our national Locked On Podcast Network accounts on any social platform, and we'll drop you a code. Be one of the first to join the Everydayer Club to get your favorite show ad-free and exclusive access to the members-only Discord channel. For those of you on video, we send you over to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen our buddies over at Locked On MLB. We'll be back tomorrow with the holiday special. What's on our Christmas list for the 2026 Dodgers season? Santa Claus is almost here, so I got to ask you, Travis, have you been naughty or nice?
I'm always good, Harry. I'm a rule follower. I'm always right down the middle of the fairway.
I'm the same way. So you see, that's why we root for a team that has won back-to-back World Series championships.
That's right.
Be nice, and you might end up getting a team like the Dodgers. All right, we'll see you there tomorrow. We appreciate you riding with us. Until next time, keep it real, keep it Dodger Blue.